Here are the top stories for today, March 19, 2020. President Rodrigo Duterte has declared a unilateral ceasefire with communist rebels. Price freeze on basic commodities will be effective until May 15. The Chinese government is donating 100,000 COVID-19 test kits to the Philippines. And the Department of Health stressed that COVID-19 is not airborne. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Malacanang thanked local government units for taking the initiative to provide for the needs of their constituents while an enhanced community quarantine is in effect over Luzon. Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles commended LGUs for supporting President Duterte's order to ensure that Filipinos do not go hungry while minimizing the risk of spreading the disease in their communities. He said that aside from following the quarantine guidelines, they are also doing more than what is expected of them, even without orders. On Monday, Duterte urged mayors and barangay workers to ensure that their constituents get the necessary food, health care, and transport assistance while under quarantine. Local executives were also tasked to monitor persons undergoing self-quarantine and provide transport to health workers to their respective hospitals and clinics. However, Nograles thumbed down calls to allow tricycles to continue ferrying health workers, people in need of basic necessities and medical assistance, saying they are allowed little space to observe social distancing by at least 1 meter. He said LGU should instead use four-wheeled vehicles such as jeepneys or multicabs to prevent the transmission of the disease. President Rodrigo Duterte has declared a unilateral ceasefire with communist rebels to ensure the effective imposition of an enhanced community quarantine in the entire Luzon. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said Duterte ordered the military and the police to stop offensives against the Communist Party of the Philippines and its armed and political wings, the New People's Army and the National Democratic Front. The suspension of military operations takes effect on March 19 and expires on April 15. Panelo said the declaration of a unilateral ceasefire is to ensure government would be able to efficiently address the COVID-19 outbreak in the country. CPP founder Jose Maria Sison on Tuesday said the CPP will consider Duterte's ceasefire proposal amid the government's efforts to contain the spread of COVID-19. The Armed Forces of the Philippines said it will not be deterred by attacks of the communist rebels, even if it supports President Duterte's decision to declare a unilateral truce with the CPP-NPA. AFP Chief of Staff General Felimon Santos Jr. said Duterte's declaration of a unilateral ceasefire shows the president is willing to go beyond the usual means to ensure that troops will not be attacked and that provisions of the needs of the Filipino public will not be impeded. Santos also called on every soldier, airmen, sailors, marines, and reservists to continue their mission to protect the people and assist medical health practitioners in the fight against COVID-19. Meanwhile, Interior Secretary Eduardo Año had ordered the Philippine National Police to comply with a unilateral ceasefire. During the unilateral ceasefire period, the PNP shall strictly implement the enhanced community quarantine in Luzon. Año said active defense operations shall only be undertaken in the face of clear and imminent danger and actual armed attack by hostile forces. Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles on Wednesday said the heightened police presence in checkpoints is intended to prevent the entry of contraband. In a press conference held late Wednesday night, Nograles expressed confidence that authorities are attentive during the inspection of cargo trucks. Nograles said culprits who would attempt to sneak in contraband during the Luzon-wide community quarantine would not be successful. In Central Luzon alone, around 10,000 police officers have been deployed in various checkpoints. They are also directed to guard terminals, airports, seaports, and other public spaces and equipped with thermal scanners to monitor those entering and leaving the borders of each province. Quezon City heightens its community quarantine to cushion the impact of COVID-19. Efforts are also being undertaken to protect inmates from the dreaded disease. More on these from Nate Cabagani.
The Quezon City government will implement heightened surveillance and monitoring on residential areas with confirmed cases of COVID-19. More than 20 residences with COVID-19 cases would be considered as hot zones, while its 500-meter radius is called a warm zone. Those inside the warm zone would have to pass strict checkpoints as of March 18. Meanwhile, prison officials on Wednesday said measures are being undertaken throughout the country's penal system to mitigate the impact of COVID-19. Bureau of Corrections spokesperson Gabriel Chaclad said prison facilities remain COVID-19 free even as efforts are also being undertaken to prioritize groups vulnerable to infection. He said inmates are urged not to congregate and were provided with hygiene kits and protective masks. In other news, the Labor Department said underemployed, self-employed, and displaced marginalized workers will be covered by the Tulong Panghanap Buhay sa Ating Disadvantaged and Displaced Workers or TUPAD. Workers will be provided with emergency employment and will be compensated for 10 days of working on disinfection and sanitation of their houses as well as the immediate vicinity of their homes. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Laid Kabagani.
Still to come, price freeze on basic commodities will be effective until May 15, and the Philippine economy is expected to recover after COVID-19. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Sa matinding laban natin sa Coronavirus Disease 2019, sugpuin din natin ang pagkalat ng fake news. Huwag magbahagi ng impormasyon na hindi tiyak ang pinagmulan. I-check mabuti ang source ng balita. Kumuha lamang ng impormasyon mula sa mga official channel ng Department of Health. Huwag magpadala sa maling balita, basta't sama-sama at laging handa. Kaya natin to. Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito. Tandaan ang tamang paraan ng paghuhugas at paglilinis ng kamay upang makaiwas sa iba't ibang karamdaman. Basain ng tubig ang mga kamay at sabunin. Unang sabunin ang mga palad at ang likod ng mga kamay. Kuskusin na maigi ang pagitan ng mga daliri at maging ang mga kuko. Isunod ang pagitan ng mga hinlalaki at kuskusin ng paikot ang mga dulo ng mga daliri sa magkabilang palad. Banlawang mabuti ang mga kamay sa malinis na tubig at patuyuin ang mga kamay gamit ang single-use towel o air dryer. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito. Pangalagaan ng sarili laban sa Coronavirus Disease 2019. Hanggat maaari, umiwas sa mataong lugar. Iwasang hawakan ang ilong at bibig, maging malinis sa katawan at ugaliin ang wastong paghuhugas ng kamay. Takpan ang ilong at bibig kung uubo o babahing. Umiwas sa mga taong nagpapakita ng sintomas ng coronavirus disease gaya ng lagnat, ubo at sipon. Magsuot ng face mask kung kinakailangan. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa. Kaya natin to. Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
Price freeze on basic commodities will be effective until May 15, following the declaration of a state of calamity in the Philippines for 6 months. The price freeze covers all persons, including those who sell basic goods through the internet or other media. Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez said the implementing agency should ensure the strict implementation of the price freeze until May 15, unless sooner lifted by President Duterte. Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles said the price freeze was intended to make sure that food and essential goods remain affordable to all. Violators of the Price Act will have to pay a fine of up to 2 million pesos and imprisonment of up to 15 years. In our business news, Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez said he is optimistic that the country's economy would recover from the coronavirus disease 2019. Lopez made the statement as he admitted that the rising number of COVID-19 cases in the country harms the country's economic growth. He said the current administration is doing its best to address the COVID-19 pandemic as early as possible to avoid the possible worst-case scenario. The government's economic team rolled out a 27.1 billion peso package to provide economic relief to businesses affected by the COVID-19 outbreak. Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Ernesto Pernia earlier admitted that the spread of novel coronavirus in the country could affect the government's ambitious economic growth target of 6.5 to 7.5% for 2020. A health official in Pangasinan is asking authorities to set up fast lanes at checkpoints for health workers who are going to work during the enhanced quarantine. More on this and other news from the provinces from Joyce Cudis.
The chief of the Region 1 Medical Center, a Department of Health-run hospital in Dagupan City, is appealing to law enforcers to set up a fast lane for hospital personnel at checkpoints. R1MC Director Dr. Joseph Roland Mejia on Wednesday said they are needed in hospitals where they do not apply the skeletal operation, unlike other government offices. Mejia said all DOH health facilities shall remain in full operation based on the directive of DOH Secretary Francisco Duque III. In Cebu, the Tourism, Cultural and Historical Affairs Commission in Lapu-Lapu City has rescued at least 135 foreign tourists stranded in Bohol, Siquijor, and Negros Oriental. The tourists were unable to secure trips due to the cancellation of outbound flights in light of the community quarantine status in Cebu and other parts of Central Visayas. These 135 foreigners are on top of the more than 1,000 passengers, mostly overseas Filipino workers, stranded at the Mactan Cebu International Airport, who are awaiting flights to different destinations abroad. Meanwhile, the municipality of Malay Aklan, including Boracay Island, is placed under general community quarantine starting Thursday on March 19. Tourists, regardless of origin, as long as they are not workers or residents of Malay, shall be denied entry to the municipality. A curfew will also be implemented from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. to prevent any unregulated social gathering during nighttime. Malay Town remains free from the virus as of Wednesday. In Zamboanga City, the Task Force Coronavirus Disease 2019 is imposing a 1-month enhanced community quarantine effective 1 a.m. Friday on March 20 to prevent the entry of the dreaded COVID-19. The quarantine will be coupled with an 8-hour curfew from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Classes and school activities at all levels will remain suspended, as well as mass gatherings and religious activities. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Joyce Cudis.
The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, lowered to level 1 on Thursday the alert hoisted over Taal volcano. The status was lowered after 4 weeks from alert level 2 or decreased unrest. PHIVOLCS said only low-level volcanic earthquake activity and stabilized ground deformation were observed. It, however, warns that the threat of an eruption has not disappeared, as steam-driven explosions, volcanic earthquakes, minor ashfall, and accumulations or expulsions of volcanic gas remains a threat in nearby areas. On January 12, Taal volcano reached alert level 4 as it emitted steam and magma-laden plumes. Thousands of residents in provinces around Taal volcano evacuated due to the threat of an eruption. Up next, the Chinese government is donating 100,000 COVID-19 test kits to the Philippines, and the health department stressed that COVID-19 is not airborne. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Alamin kung paano ang tamang pagsusuot ng surgical mask. Una, hawakan ang mask sa strap at siguruhing natatakpan nito ang inyong bibig at ilong. Tandaan, ang may kulay na bahagi ng mask ang dapat nasa labas. Ito lamang ang tamang paraan ng pagsuot nito. Ihulma ang nose piece o maliit na metallic strip ayon sa hugis ng inyong ilong. Iwasan ang paghawak sa inyong ilong at bibig. Kung marumi na ang mask, hubarin ito gamit ang strap at itapon ito sa isang basurahan. Siguruhin ang maayos na paghuhugas ng kamay gamit ang sabon at tubig. Ang surgical mask ay dapat gamitin ng mga pasyenteng may sakit sa baga o mga taong mayroong ubo, sipon at lagnat, mga nag-aalaga sa mga may sakit, at mga healthcare at frontline workers. Maaari ring magsuot nito kung kayo ay pupunta sa matataong lugar. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa. Kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito. Alamin ang tamang paraan ng pag-ubo upang mapigilan ang paglaganap ng Coronavirus Disease 2019. Ugaliing magdala ng panyo o tissue. Kung uubo o babahing, takpan ang buong ilong at bibig gamit ang panyo o tissue. Kung walang dalang panyo o tissue, maaaring gamitin ang braso na pantakip. Kung nakararamdam na kailangan umubo o bumahing, agad na dumistansya sa mga tao sa paligid. Huwag dumura kung saan-saan, gumamit ng tissue at itapon sa basurahan. Ugaliin ang paghuhugas ng kamay at paggamit ng alcohol o hand sanitizer upang mamatay ang mikrobyo. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito. Alamin ang mga dapat gawin sa lugar ng trabaho laban sa Coronavirus Disease 2019. Ang mga kumpanya ay dapat magbigay ng face mask sa kanilang mga empleyado. Bukod dito, magbigay kaalaman din patungkol sa COVID-19. Siguraduhing malinis ang kapaligiran. Maglagay ng sabon at hand sanitizer sa mga palikuran. Siguraduhing ligtas at nalutong maigi ang mga pagkain sa kantina. Obserbahan ang kalusugan ng mga empleyado at katrabaho. Kung sakali man na mayroon silang sintomas ng coronavirus disease, gaya ng lagnat, ubot sipon at hirap sa paghinga, ay agad ipasuri sa doktor. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
The Chinese government is donating 100,000 coronavirus disease 2019 test kits and other essential medical supplies to the Philippines. In a post on Twitter, Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro Locsin Jr. said on Wednesday, China is getting a chartered flight by the weekend. The donation would also include 10,000 N95 masks, 10,000 sets of personal protection equipment, and 100,000 surgical masks. The Chinese embassy in Manila said it is now facilitating with the Department of Health the speedy turnover of said donations once they arrived in the country. The additional donation was announced days after Beijing donated a total of 2,000 high-tech test kits to Manila. The Bureau of Customs on Wednesday assured the speedy release of medical supplies donated to the country. Customs is already monitoring its arrival and is in close coordination with concerned offices for its fast release upon arrival. This is in response to a Twitter post of Foreign Affairs Secretary Teddy Locsin Jr. about the medicinal supplies, including test kits and surgical masks donated by China. Meanwhile, the BOC urged the logistics industry to remain open to be able to move goods during the enhanced community quarantine across Luzon. The Bureau encouraged its partners in the import and logistical sectors, such as banks, arrasture and airport operators, shipping lines, and airlines to provide a skeletal workforce or online service to BOC stakeholders. The Department of Health clarifies reports that COVID-19 is airborne as it announces the opening of hotlines for all virus-related concerns. More on this from Janice Cave.
The coronavirus disease is not airborne and is transmitted through droplets and close contact. DOH Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergeire clarifies on Wednesday the World Health Organization statement on possible airborne transmission, saying it is possible in a confined hospital setting. Since COVID-19 experts still say that the disease is transmitted through close contact, Vergeire reiterated the importance of social distancing measures. While recovered cases have been reported in the past days, Vergeire clarified that there is no known cure to COVID-19 yet. The DOH also warns that there are no test kits for COVID-19 available in the market for public use. Vergeire said all tests are done at the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine. Meantime, clearances for various COVID-19 test kits, including the SARS-CoV-2 PCR detection kit developed by local scientists at the University of the Philippines National Institutes of Health, will be released in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, the DOH and its partners from the public and private sectors launched hotlines to help manage the spread of the coronavirus disease in the country. The DOH said the public may call the hotlines at 02894 COVID and 1555 for any questions or assistance, especially if they have symptoms and known exposure to confirmed cases or patients under investigation. The hotlines are available 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
And in our foreign news, Italian authorities are taking a firmer stance to enforce rules of an almost total lockdown aimed at limiting the coronavirus outbreak in Europe's worst-hit country. More than 665,000 were subjected to checks between March 11 and 15. More than 27,600 citizens and about 1,100 business owners were reported for violations during the time. Italy imposed a near-total lockdown in a desperate bid to curb the spread of the virus, which has already claimed more than 2,000 lives. Anyone exiting a residence needs to provide authorities a self-certification explaining the reason for the movement. To shield the Italian economy from a new recession, the government approved an economic package worth 25 billion euro, including babysitter vouchers for families and bonuses for some workers. Students of the Mariano Marcos State University in Ilocos Norte are helping stem the shortage of alcohol needed to stop the spread of COVID-19. The Asukal Mo Ferment Mo program of the National Bioenergy Research and Innovation Center is gaining headway in producing ethanol needed to produce ethyl alcohol. MMSU President Shirley Agrupis said local government units supply them with molasses for the production of ethanol. Agrupis showcased the current facility of MMSU that can produce ethanol from any form of sugar. On Friday, representatives from all towns and cities of the province will get their first ration of 20 liters of ethyl alcohol. They will also be taught on how to prepare the molasses and ferment these into ethanol. The university is the first academic institution in Region 1 to have started producing its own high-grade alcohol. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. President Rodrigo Duterte has declared a unilateral ceasefire with communist rebels. Price freeze on basic commodities will be effective until May 15. The Chinese government is donating 100,000 COVID-19 test kits to the Philippines. And the Department of Health stressed that COVID-19 is not airborne. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check out more news content, check our webpage or head onto the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And now we are on the 4th day of our enhanced community quarantine. Again, we remind all people that nobody wants this to get any worse. So please follow instructions. Try to observe total lockdown within your homes so that we may be able to face these challenges and win them at a much faster pace, and our lives will continue on the normal. So that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, I am William Theo. Good day to all. Stay healthy.